Hey guys, my name is Gotham Sivakumar, and for my STEP project for the year of 2013, I had some trouble. I saw a lot of people were going through with the whole study abroad thing and having their experiences in a different country. And I've been to a lot of countries in my past, so I knew that that just wouldn't be something I'd be interested in. So I took a step back from the 6 pillars of STEP and kind of thought to myself, I wonder what I would actually enjoy doing here. So I'm an engineer, I like to tinker with things, I like to see how things work, and I like computers. So I thought, what if I was to make my own? And by the end of it all, it actually happened. I was able to build my own PC. But to get to that point, I had to put in a lot of work. I went through and did research on different components that would be necessary in order to get a computer running. I had to figure out incompatibilities, whether it was between manufacturers or components. There was a lot of detail-oriented work that had to be done before I could actually go through with it. But through the year, I did all that work, submitted my STEP proposal, and it got approved. So over the summer, I was actually able to go through and have my experience, and I did it, and it worked fantastically. In fact, this whole setup, whether it's the thing that's recording it, the thing that I'm recording audio with, and all this stuff back here, it's all getting run off of the computer that's actually sitting behind me that I built through the STEP program. And after I finished my computer build, I thought, I wonder how good this thing actually is. So I went through and benchmarked the thing, and it actually ranks in the top 4 percentile of all consumer grade PCs to date. Wow. Yeah, so I thought that was a pretty good achievement. So rather than just having you guys listen to me spew on about all this stuff, let's just go ahead and take a closer look at the computer behind me. Alright guys, I'm a fan of pretty simple design, so the case that I got for my computer is the Fractal Design Define R4. It's just a simple black case with just that one LED in the middle. It's got a reset button to the left, a microphone headphone jack along with 2 USB 3 ports and 2 USB 2 ports. Another important outwardly appearance is just the fact that it is quite boxy, so it will fit into pretty much any space you need it to. Another cool thing about this particular Fractal case is that it has a window on the left side of it, so that way you can look in and see all the cool stuff that you put in your case. All in all, the case is pretty impressive, but hey, we're more interested on the stuff inside of it. So kind of opened up the case a little bit here so we can take a look inside. You can see that I have some LEDs on the side of it, which I'm going to be turning off for now, just that we can take a clearer look at what exactly the components are inside of this guy. First up, we have the thing that's powering the entire build. It's the Corsair CS750M power supply. It's a 750 watt power supply, and it is a bit overkill for the parts that I have in this build, but I realized that if I ever do want to upgrade and get another graphics card in this thing, it's going to need some extra power. Here you can see the back. There's just a simple on-off switch that plugs into the back of the case, and that's about it. It's a power supply, nothing too special, but it is what it is. Next up, I have storage here. Now, the bottom 2 drives are the ones that I used my STEP money for, so let's get to those first. At the bottom, I have a 256 gigabyte Samsung 840 EVO SSD that runs my Windows 8, and the one on top of that one is a 3 terabyte Toshiba drive that just stores everything else that I don't want to boot from. Again, the third drive on top is just an extra drive that I have in there. Wasn't used in my STEP project. Now, something that's really not taken care of in a lot of builds are fans. So what I did is pulled out the original fans that were in the Fractal case and replaced them with these Noctua fans. Now, Noctua is known for having great fans. Here you can see the back of it. It doesn't look all too impressive. It just looks like a normal fan, but the AH14s are actually really fantastic. I've got 3 of them in this case, and they really, really do help to keep the entire system cool. Now here I have the CPU cooler. When you buy a CPU, which is actually underneath the CPU cooler, you get a stock cooler, which really isn't that good. But this is the H220 water cooling CPU cooler. You can see the tubing right here, and it runs from those fans straight into this little thing that sits on top of the CPU under there. CPU's a 4790, Intel 4790, but this specific CPU cooler really does wonders to keep it cool. Alright, and the real power of this machine is coming from this. This is a WindForce 780 Ti. It's an NVIDIA card that Gigabyte, I guess, messed with and basically created this great graphics card. It's cooled by 3 fans on the bottom here, you can see. It basically runs stock at 1 gigahertz, which is just ridiculous for a graphics card these days. And oh man, this thing, just the amount of raw power it puts out is really just fantastic. Alright, it's been in the background of all the other parts of this video, so we might as well talk about it now. This is the Asus Z87 Pro motherboard. It's got this black and gold kind of color scheme to it. There's not really too much that we can talk about. What's important to remember is that this is what's feeding the directions to all the different components in this computer. It's the brains of the entire build. I'll just let this run for a few seconds here so you guys can take a look at it. And finally, we have the memory sticks. There's 16 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance low profile 1866 megahertz RAM here. The reason I had to get them low profile is because you can kind of see here how the CPU cooler is pushing up against it, so it was very important to make sure that the entire thing would fit. Alright guys, I know that this has been a pretty short summary, but I just wanted to give you guys a general overview of the different components after the build. I actually have made videos of me unpacking each component that actually went into the machine, and I'll make sure to leave those links below. Here's an email address that you guys can use to get in contact with me about whether you guys have questions on S.T.E.P, whether you guys have questions on how to build your own PC or whatever you guys have. There's also a phone number over here that you guys can use. Text me, don't call me, it's kind of weird, but feel free to text me any question that you guys have. I really would recommend the S.T.E.P program at Ohio State. You know, they gave me the chance to have this experience that I never thought I'd be able to have for a long time. And just being able to have that now, I really feel like it gives me a leg up on my peers going forward. You know, I was able to just gain a lot of knowledge, and at the end of it all, I was able to take something with me that I know is going to be able to help me in my future career. And I just really would recommend the S.T.E.P program, guys. So feel free to get in contact with me. I'll leave the links to both the videos of me talking about each of the components in more detail. I'm also going to leave you guys with a link to a website that I created through Ohio State through the S.T.E.P program that you guys can go and kind of follow along as I went through and did the build. So go ahead, tell me what you guys think. I'll just get this thing on repeat at the Expo. So if you have any questions, please come talk to me, guys. I'd love to talk to you guys, and thank you so much, S.T.E.P, for being able to have me in this experience. I do appreciate it, guys. All right, that's about it. See you guys.